Good morning, friends. Happy August. I cannot even believe I'm saying that. This summer, I feel like I say this every year, but this summer has really gone by so fast. I'm so excited to show you how the garden is doing. Over the month of July is like really when everything starts to take off and flourish. So we have a lot to show you, as you can see by my trellis. I don't think this was anywhere near this filled out last in our July tour. So we're going to be showing you the good, the bad, everything in between. So let's get into it. Since we're here, we might as well start with the trellis. I have a big roll of pole beans growing. I've been getting lots of beans. I've been eating fresh beans for dinner. I'm excited to can some up and freeze some. Unfortunately, we are dealing with some pests on the beans, specifically Japanese beetles. These beetles are relentless. They absolutely eat and destroy all of the leaves and then just make everything look so ugly and drab. But I've not been successful in getting rid of them. I use neem oil to try and deter them. I'm out here day and night picking them off, and they just keep coming back. So I'll take all the tips you have. I've also done milky spore on the grass and in the ground, but that really is just for the grubs, so that will help in the coming years. But if you know how to get rid of the current beetles, let me know. We have lots of beans. These are, again, a pole bean variety. I should get out here and pick some more. I don't like when they get too big. This one's a little seedy, but they're doing good. I just love pole beans. They look so beautiful on a trellis like this. Do you guys remember the last tour when I was telling you how I didn't have any female loofah gourds, any female flowers, nothing like that? Well, we have lots of loofah. On this trellis, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7. And look how big this is getting. Isn't that amazing? I love it so much. I'm so excited to let these kind of dry out and use them for sponges, whether that's dishwashing or body soap. I'm very excited. It's very cool. And then I have 2 more on my other trellis as well. I'll show you when we get over there. But these are doing so well. They have really just taken over this half of the trellis. I did have to trim some of the leaders up here because they were completely kind of taking out my beans. And I just wanted them to meet in the middle, but the loofahs were getting way too big. I also kind of trimmed them off from growing more because now that we're so late in the season, anything new that pollinates, like this guy, he is little and brand new. I don't think there's enough time for him to get big and grow, so that one I'll probably end up snipping off. Let's scooch down here to my cucumbers. I have 2 varieties of cucumbers. I have Boston pickling cucumbers, and then I have a quick stack cucumber. So these are the Boston pickling. They kind of have the pokies that typical pickling cucumbers have. I also need your guys' advice. Look at this. This is my first plant here, and it is all just dead or dying. It just looks awful. But the one literally right next to it is beautiful. I'm not sure. I don't see anything. Oops. I don't see anything at the root that looks like damage or anything to be causing this whole vine to shrivel and die. It's really making me sad. This vine is the second vine. This one does have one. I think I'll pick this one. It's getting a little bit yellow on the top. See, maybe a little bit overripe, maybe a little too much sun. here is my quick snack cucumber. So you can see these are like snacking cucumbers. They don't have the same skin texture as pickling cucumbers. And he is actually a container variety, so he's much littler. But they're so cute and they're so delicious. Moving over to my tomato section. This is where it starts getting really fun, and the indeterminates are getting super duper tall. You can see them here, and you can really tell the difference between the determinate bush variety and the indeterminate vining varieties. We have some very exciting news. Oh, hi. Down, please. Thank you. Some very exciting news. We have a blushing tomato that I saw the other day, but I wanted to wait till I was with you guys so we could pick it together. Oh, it's really cute. This is one of my pink Brandywines, but we have some rot. Oh, that makes me so sad. I did not notice that earlier. Okay, I don't see it on the other one, so maybe it was just this one. Maybe I can salvage some of it, but it's very exciting. First tomato picked of the season. I also have a couple of red Romas in here that I wanted to pick with you guys too. Man, these guys also have some rot. I wonder what is going on. Well, it doesn't look like there are many more that have it, so that's good. This is the first time I've ever dealt with blossom end rot. A lot of the new tomatoes don't look like they have it. I wonder if just in the beginning we were having kind of like some drought where we'd go like weeks without rain. So I wonder if they just didn't really like being dry and I wasn't good enough with my watering or what was going on. But very exciting. If we look at just the tops, they look very beautiful. Like I've said in previous videos as well, I'm doing a little bit of a comparison with some tomatoes. I'm doing 3 different kinds of paste tomatoes to see what I like the best. I have a Plum Regal determinate tomato. I have a Roma determinate tomato. And then I also have, on accident because another one died, a San Marzano indeterminate tomato. He is back here. He is a little bit smaller than the rest just because I think he was getting shaded out by some of those big tomatoes in the back. But he's putting on some flowers and I'll just let him keep growing. In with my tomatoes, I have some basil interplanted. I have a big, beautiful marigold. I did end up pulling all of the carrots that were in between the tomatoes. They were just getting so shaded out, so stunted because the tomatoes just shaded everything out. They weren't really doing a whole lot. I picked them, they were about this big, so lesson learned. Nothing too crazy going on back here, just my patty pan squash. This thing was being held up by a tomato cage, but it broke it and tipped it over. So now it is a leaning squash that's kind of spilling out the back. But we do have some fruits finally forming. These will be my first squash of the year. I'm not sure why we were so delayed. Maybe it's just this variety. But we're finally getting some squash forming. There's another one. I'm really excited for when these start to get big. I think they're gonna be really cute. Hopefully they taste good. Raised bed number 2. My pepper jungle, as I call it. This has been a super fun bed. I have so much planted in here. My parsley plant is doing phenomenal. I keep chopping away at this thing to freeze it and dehydrate it, and it just keeps giving me a ton more. I have dill in here that's doing nicely, saving up stuff for some pickles. I've got basil interplanted. I did a few rows of carrots along the edge here, and then some in that middle empty space that I was like, what should I do here? I planted carrots because my other ones did not do well. I also planted a few more of those quick snack cucumbers right here. They don't produce a ton of fruit, so I've been really enjoying them. So I planted a few more of those. Back along this row here is where I have some more carrots that are starting to pop up. I gotta come through and thin those once they get a little bigger. I have so many banana peppers. I need to come in, pick a bunch, and get pickling these. If I pick them soon enough, I should get another flush before the first frost. But I think I have 3 banana pepper plants. This one giant pepper is all one plant, and it is my cayenne. I don't know if you can see just how many peppers are on this thing. It is absolutely loaded, which is amazing because I want to make homemade hot sauce, maybe some red chili flakes, red pepper flakes. So excited. I did not know that this pepper would be as prolific as it's going to be. I haven't picked them yet. They're not red, but I'm really, really excited. I've got 2 jalapenos that are a little behind. I think they got a little tore up early this spring. They're not quite as bushy, but I do have a few little jalapenos starting, so that's exciting. I don't use jalapenos much for anything other than salsa. I've got a giant nasturtium that I've been trying to get to flop out the edge, so to give everything else some room. My purple beans are in here. These are really cute. We had some last night for dinner, and they cook up green. On my TikTok the other day, I had someone ask if there was a taste difference between the purple beans and my green pole beans. I have and then I was like, I'll cook them up and let you know. Well, when these cook, they turn green, so I could not tell them apart. So I'm gonna say no, there's not a taste difference because even the inside is green. So even raw, there's no taste difference. Those are good. In the front row of this bed is my bell peppers. I have 2 types of bell peppers, California Wonder and King of the North. So the 2 that I had labeled King of the North definitely appear to be California Wonders. They are more kind of rounded, stocky, your typical bell pepper shape. And then the one that was unlabeled that I thought was a California Wonder appears to be a King of the North because it is a longer, thinner bell pepper. I know I definitely messed them up when I was seeding I know I definitely messed them up, but I thought I had fixed it. But apparently I had them all flipped around backwards. But these are looking really, really good. These, I think, are the King of the North. And I think these are the California Wonders. And there's one really nice one back here. Look at that guy. Can you see him? That is a beautiful looking bell pepper. My eggplant is doing well. I have a couple little ones coming on. I actually just picked a couple of these the other day and made some baba ganoush with it. Here over at my miniature trellis where I have my first two loofah. I think these ones grew probably like the first week of July, I want to say. So these ones are definitely the furthest along, the most firm. And something really disappointing this year that happened so far was my watermelon just kind of died out of nowhere. I have a really nice sized watermelon, and then all of a sudden the branches and the vines just slowly started shriveling and dying. I'm not sure what it was. The plant looks fine, except the fact that it's just all shriveled up. Here's my watermelon. I mean, I guess technically I should pick it. This tendril is dead, but the whole vine just went limp and looks really sad. Last little bed. Strawberries are all done for the season, but we are still getting lots of kale. I actually just put a big batch in the dehydrator to make powder. An update on the patio garden. I recently potted my cherry tomato to a big grow bag, so hopefully he's a little happier. He was looking very sad. My herbs, lemon balm, what's this one? Spearmint, peppermint, and rosemary are doing really well. I've been picking at my mint like crazy, trying to dehydrate enough for tea all year, and then the more you pick it, the more it grows. My chamomile was finally starting to bloom, and I've been picking it, drinking it as tea, and trying to dehydrate as much as I possibly can. I love this little corner. It has a little planter I did, my variegated lemon tree, and a hummingbird feeder. Over here we have my crazy overgrown tiered planter with some giant marigolds, lettuce that has gone to seed, some very sad pansies, a very beautiful looking pansy, and some zinnias. I did just pick these, that's why there's not many blooms, but they are all gonna come back and bloom here again pretty soon. My alyssum is sad. It got really dried out when I was working a bunch of days in a row. I think it's recovering. It's starting to green up again. And my thyme and oregano kind of died. I'm not sure if it was one day it got really cold. It was like down into the 30s and 40s at night. And I'm not sure if it just didn't tolerate that well, but we do have some green growth that is starting to come back, so excited about that. All right, that is all I have for the gardens here at my house. Let's head over to Hunter's grandparents' house where I have my big in-ground Three Sisters patch, and we'll go check that out. All right, friends, we are at the in-ground garden, and let me tell you, it's kind of looking a mess. I was just in there weeding a whole bunch trying to make it look good for you, but she's a bit of a jungle. This is what I mean. I don't even want to go in any further because I'm already like stepping on bean vines and squash vines. So this is going to be a tour from the outside. Just to remind everyone, this is kind of like a experiment garden. I've never had an in-ground garden before. I'm growing all things I've never grown before, like popcorn, sweet corn, drying beans, winter squash. I've never done any of that. So I'm hopeful we get some produce out of it. I think we will. I'll show you some of it in a second. First up on the outside row, I have my onions. Not much for onions right now. There are a couple little ones here and there. They just did not get super big. These were started super late in the season, but they bulbed up a little bit. I will probably end up using those for like when I make salsa or tomato sauce, just using them right away. They're not going to store or do anything. They're like quarter sized basically. And you probably saw the sneak peek of something very exciting. We have a butternut. Look at this thing. It is beautiful. Wow. And throughout the garden, there are a few more squash. Over here, we have some more butternuts. Back there is an acorn squash or two. So yeah, lots of squash. We have lots of drying beans. So these are all tangled up. Here's a vine. I can hopefully show you. Here's some. I can't remember, I think these are the kidney beans, but these will stay on the vine until they are dry, and then we will shell them and they can be stored as dry beans, which is super exciting. There's a ton in here, you guys. This is so exciting, so fun. I'm very excited to rip all these out and see how many we actually get. We've got some ears of popcorn. Can you see that? Maybe not. We have some ears of popcorn. These have been tasseling for a couple weeks, which is just about perfect because the sweet corn is just starting to tassel. So I planted these out a few weeks apart, hoping that the popcorn would tassel a few weeks before the sweet corn. And we have like kind of a lot of popcorn, it looks like. Here's a few stalks. So that's super exciting. The sweet corn, I don't know if I see any like cobs of sweet corn like I do on the popcorn. Hopefully that changes in the next couple days because it is starting to tassel, but we shall see. I am dealing with some squash bugs, it appears. Like there's one, it's like this gray little bug. I don't know if you can see them. I also do have eggs on the back, so not exactly sure what to do about those. Just been knocking them off as best as I can. We have, let me get in here. I've got some more drying beans in here. This one is loaded. I think these are the navy beans or the Great Northern beans. Very exciting, lots of stuff going on. I don't think there'll be too much going on in this garden until everything is pretty much ready to harvest. So don't expect too many updates until it's all ready to be picked. Thank you for sticking around and watching till the end of the video. If you have any questions or any content you want to see, let me know. I would love to hear about it. We'll see you next time. Bye.